G'day, and welcome back to another episode of A Pacific Point of View. It's a big one because playoffs are starting tomorrow. My name is Carix. With me is the ever amazing Mabinogi. How are we this week?
We are doing pretty okay. We've come to an end of a split. We've got playoffs on the horizon. I'm just kind of excited to see what happens from here. I think we had a bit of a shuffle around of the last 2 weeks, given we missed last week's but
Things were on.
things got real shook up, and as we say goodbye to a couple of teams, we ended up in the Vietnamese dynasty.
I mean, I just want to point out we missed a week. The last episode that went up is literally called A Vietnamese World, A Better World, and then it came true.
Yeah.
When we posted that, they were not the top 3 teams. They are now. So I don't know. It's almost like we know what we're talking about or something. Sometimes, at least one of us does. But anyway, we kind of want to just launch straight in. We're not going to do the standard format of just going over last week, going into next week. Well, we are going to talk about next week's games, obviously. We're not going to do the standard format because we both want to cover the awards that have come out. So if you go to the LCP Twitter, you can see they've done MVP, they've done all pro teams, and we have thoughts. We have hot takes. I think what we agree on is that first team All Pro is just Team Secret Wales. I agree with 4 out of 5.
I agree with 4 out of 5. I would actually want to say Arya, I think, deserves the top spot over D-Ray, but I'm not like upset with D-Ray there.
They're super close.
Slightly upset on the grounds of first All Pro team debuff is going to come in now. As always happens.
They're already locked for MSI. They're already locked for MSI. It's all right.
They are already locked for MSI, so they won't be impacted as badly. But oh boy, yeah, no, I think pretty much across. I think as a whole, Team Secret Wales. God, I mean, they went undefeated in terms of series.
It's hard to argue.
Hard to argue. And they played a lot of games where the games I really would be like looking to dock them points. So much of it looks like they were just kind of goofing around, like BS just walking in to the jungle with no care in the world. Hun is just
ego
diving in solo. Yeah, they're just playing with so much ego, and it's just not like
it's not their real
like
fault, right?
They are so clear that it's just so clear that they think they're just that much better than everyone else that it's like hard to argue that, but like please get your heads in check. I hope they get smacked at least in one big scrim to get their egos put back in check. I
don't worry a huge amount about the egos. I mean, playoffs may make me worry, but Warhorse is a good coach. We'll have to see. Obviously, the relationship's obviously a little bit different. With telling them to pull their fucking heads in. But anyway,
yeah.
And also when they played against SHG, they were super locked in. Like none of that ego was there in that one series when SHG was also undefeated. So I think they can pull themselves in. They've had a couple weeks of like just nothing matchups.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, didn't they like lock in like week 5? Like
they locked first. They locked first. I mean, not mathematically, but like in all real universes. As soon as they beat SHG, and as soon as they locked first, they locked MSI.
Why they beat SHG in week 3?
Well, so that again, they didn't mathematically lock it.
Yeah, no, I know.
But like,
I know that, but it's like
SHG was the only team that was going to have a chance. No one else was getting close to them, so they've been fucking around the whole split, and they go undefeated. This is a really good team. We'll talk about MSI. We can probably talk about it a little bit, but obviously we want to like keep our powder dry on that one. Until we know who our second one is. I am going to ask you at some point in this episode who you think the second rep is going to be, because I've had to commit to my guess because it's going on graphics. I won't ask you right now. We can have our discussion and then we can think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still I said this before we started recording. I actually think if I was a bit of a maverick and I was controlling the All Pro, I would put Pun second team, Jung first team.
Yeah, I
Pun,
think Pun.
I mean, look, he's the best top laner in the LCP, but this split he's been fucking around.
Yeah, I think Pun's definitely been one of the big points of like just fucking around. Plus, I think a little bit this split he was targeted a lot more by other teams.
100%.
So he didn't get quite as much freedom to do what he was doing in split one. So
yeah, he couldn't just pick he couldn't just pick Volibear, push you to your tower 100% of the time, and just solo dive you on repeat. Like there was gonna be a jungler there this time.
Yeah, so I feel like he definitely. So like it's not egregious he's in number one because he was like put under a lot more pressure than he was. So that like dip in form is like a little bit not actually a dip rather than just having to play under harder circumstances. And I guess with the only other person who really could or like should be considered for first is Ejung, who is playing under such.
It's also Kiaya, given that Ejung was on third team.
Yes, but
I would have gone Ejung, Pun, Kiaya.
Should be second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kiaya's start of the split was
it was dreadful. It looked
shaky
awful.
To get him up above third. Ejung was really solid the whole way through.
With no
if you're going to criticize him, you criticize him on the fact that he wasn't able to convert any of these things outside of the first series against DFM, which
I mean,
yeah, it's yes, like, but Kusha and Jimmy in until like week 6 were just dead weight. It felt like Jimmy and started to pick back up again, and Jimmy had a pretty good final. Oh, sorry, Kusha had a very good final series, but generally they weren't doing a whole lot. They were black holes of pressure, and top lane. I feel top lane is just not in a super strong carry position. Plus, I don't think Ejung's picks were being really maximized for that. I think,
especially it felt like Ground
especially
Zero
once the
didn't realize Ejung was on their team.
Like, and like,
wouldn't we just be pivoting to try and get him carry matchups? Like,
yeah, I felt like they were just trying to they were throwing him on Cassante a lot because I think they sort of went, all right, look, we just chuck you on Cassante. You will be 100% fine. I know we can prioritize getting better matchups for the other team. Which is a valid strategy. You can go for that. Didn't work here. But I think one of the big problems with Ejung specifically is in his champion pool was he kept going for Ambassador even after she got hit with a bat to the knees. Like once her ult was taken down, they picked her like 3 times in a row, and it was like, buddy, you know you can't do that anymore. Yeah. And then Ambassador as a whole, teams just kept going back to her and kept going back to that well, and I was like, it's not a good well anymore.
And they kept playing her the same way as well.
Yeah.
Where she was the first one to go in. Like, they're just trying to hit raw public executions. And it's like, you can't do that anymore. Like, it's just really dodgeable now. Yeah, I didn't notice anything else super egregious in All Pro. I mean, I guess, actually, I did. Why is SHG all of second team? Like, they came 4th. Did we make these 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, has to be. Like, there was such a big drop off at the end of the
like Arya should be second mid, no question. Arya has a case for first mid, but should definitely be second.
Yeah. I think Arya and Marble are completely fine. I think
I wouldn't say completely. I think Marble could be third.
I think Marble could be first if you really want to go for that, because I'm quite harsh on Eddie. To be fair, I'm probably a bit of a hater on Eddie for no really good reason. But like, I think Marble has, like, especially for that first run of the split, when SHG was top 2, I thought Marble was probably better than Eddie for that sort of period.
Well, yeah, Eddie started slow as well.
Yeah. So I think Marble's Marble's fine in second. Vista, I want to say should be third.
Yeah, should be.
But don't necessarily think Taki quite got up to the level that Vista was at the start to sort of pull him over the edge. So I'm fine. I can accept Vista. Van one needs to go down.
Yeah, Drakthar not second is a war crime. Garm only comes second this split because of Drakthar.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like,
and
if I know that's not how all teams work, but if you were doing an MVP of every role, Drakthar wins jungle. He's not better than Histo. Histo's obviously better than him. But in terms of value, Drakthar is probably the most valuable player in the league. I know that's not how MVP works. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I know that's not how MVPs work. But like Drakthar's glow up from last split to this split is fucking insane. Him on third team is like, you need to be brought before a tribunal.
Yeah. And especially once they sort of, towards the back end of the split, started to figure out how to actually be a good team. Like, I say that I say that like they aren't 6-1, but like they were so shaky in their wins versus like Ground Zero and MVK that I was like, you guys need to play like this. I was saying you need to play like this. You need to play through mid jungle. Drakthar and RS, when they're your go buttons, they were like, you just look so.
Sorry, you lagged out there for a sec. You need to repeat that.
Sorry.
Okay. I think it's me, but
I was saying at the start, like when the playing through Drakthar and Iris was like as your go buttons was like a very good way for them to play, and they started to do that a lot more through the back end of the split. And then they looked a lot better. They look like the second best team now. And because of that, like they handily took SHG, who admittedly are slumping than they were compared to where they were at the start of the split. But they look so good through this sort of like focus, and I think with Kiaya and Artemis stepping Kiaya and Taki stepping back up. Artemis's Sivir is still cursed. Like Artemis
stop picking it.
Wrong, but I think you can't pick it because the team doesn't work with it for some reason.
Yeah. Put it on Zeri.
I feel like I feel like Van One he will still end up in third, but the drop off at the end of the split was like
still third,
him and Vista just falling off a cliff.
But it's like people. I've like spoken to a few people, and it's like, oh yeah, no, Van One's like lights out. Don't you remember that game against CFO? He was crazy on Lee Sin. It's like that was CFO that got perfect gamed. Like I think I go 10-0 in that game. They were throwing.
That was 7-0. That was against a completely dysfunctional CFO with was it Hung Yong and 2274?
Yeah.
There
was also a game that he walked bot at
7 weeks ago.
It's 7 weeks ago. It's also a game where he walked bot at like level 2. There were absolutely no wards placed on their side of the jungle across the map because the team did not give a shit. They all clearly hated each other. So he just walked up to the bot lane and kicked them to death. Like,
yeah.
And then, he carries that game. Like, Van One's a good player. Van One is a good player, but he's just coasting off early split. I'm actually... Yeah. That's the only one that really annoyed me, is that Drakthar didn't get his flowers. Drakthar has such a fucking hard role. Not just in game, but, like, he's stepping into the shoes of Levi. A bunch of fans, like, fucking hate him because he's not Levi. And it's like, that's not his fault, man. Like, he didn't bench Levi. Levi retired. Like, it's not his fault. It's like, it's almost like the people that really hate Poby. And it's like, Faker was injured. It's not his fault, man.
Look, man.
He didn't take the spot.
It's so sad for Poby. Like,
I feel bad for him. He wasn't... We're not going to go down the Poby thing. I'm just using it as an example. Like, Drakthar last split, not good enough, was a big reason that Garm suffered. This split, he's been so good, and Garm have come second, and you're telling me he's like worse than Van One? Like, it's just not fair. That actually really annoyed me. The rest of them, I think, look, cases can be made. I think Taki should be above Vista, but SHG is still a good team. SHG in fourth is weird.
SHG in fourth is weird.
But also, at the same time, I do think they're worse than the top 3, so...
Yeah, it feels like It feels like they should be above MVK to
But
me.
they're not.
But even though they did directly lose to them, and so much of that is like partially like on this, partially on what the hell is going on with the draft strategy. Why are we picking? Why are we putting so much focus on Pike and Camille? Why have we? Why has Vista just decided he can't play Enchanted? Like coming
Second
into the
team
split,
all
I
time, by the way.
thought I was like coming into the split and even sort of like reflected at the start of the split. I was like, Vista should be the best Enchanter player amongst the supports in this league because he is by far the most experienced on them. And like he started off doing that, and then just in the back end of the split, he just decided, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Why? Like, I understand there are like several system nerfs and system buffs coming the way of supports that are going to force us back into another several hundred years of engaged supports because support mates throw a hissy fit whenever they have to learn how to position.
I'm going to be real. It's not support mains. I mean, it's a little bit support mains. It's also people like, there's no fights happening because of Karma. And then you watch BA play Karma and it's like, yeah, there's no one, there's no fights happening because of that guy who's just speeded himself directly at the jungler. Like, yeah, sure, man.
Like, you can have like fights with ranged supports. Look at BA, look at Carrier, look at...
like, exactly. Carrier is a good example.
Hell, most of the enchanters we haven't even been like Lulu Jana. It's been Seraphine, it's been Bar. These are like pseudo-y engage.
We're not in a Sona Yumi meta.
Yeah. But no, so many support players are just bad and don't know how to actually play the game. So they play Alistair and press their get out jail free button. They play Rakan, who has 5 get out of jail free buttons. It's like supports are bad at this game.
Bold. Poster PGG.
I say this as a long-time support player.
I know. I've played with you, and the legendary Mabinogi meander that gets me killed on the tower.
Look, I have learned from my ways. I swapped to jungle so that when I meander, it is
not killing anyone.
My job.
Anyway, so MVP of the split, his toe. Do we agree? You're obviously picking a Secret Wales player. I think he's the obvious choice. It's him or B. Or BA.
I think it has to be his though. I think the difference. I think BA has just played the split a little bit too fast and loose. Quite a few games where he's just like quiet on the enemy jungle for no reason.
Yeah,
there's been a lot more. There's been a lot more of a. I think there's been a lot more of a driving force in a lot of the early games, and especially in a lot of the big games. When Hizdo steps up, it's really on Hizdo. Like their loss against SHG was when Hizdo got completely gapped by Van One. But that was, I think Hizdo's completely fine. I think the split has a very strong argument for being the best player in the league.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
I even though I am someone who thinks MVP should not go to best player on the best team, it should go to the most valuable player for their team.
I agree.
So it should be Drakthar, but
yeah, look,
I don't get to make decisions.
Again, I want to be clear. I know I cast the LSP. I had nothing. I didn't vote. I don't get votes. We're not cool enough. I think I don't know who votes. I assume it's just mostly the Chinese broadcast.
I assume, the Taiwanese and possibly the Vietnamese.
Sorry, I should have said Chinese speaking. That's the one I meant. To be clear. Look, I don't get to vote. I personally would have voted for Drakthar because I think MVP should be most valuable player, not best player on the best team. It's called most valuable. Anyway, that discussion's been done to death. That's like, I think we're going to use that sort of serve as our look back at the split. Because we're going to talk about every team going forward into playoffs. Obviously, Ground Zero and DFM didn't make it.
Do we want to touch on what they need to do for next split?
I think we can do that in the off season, honestly, because it's everything. Yeah. It's a long conversation. I mean, look, we want to very, very briefly touch on it. Like DFM, I don't know what you can do. There's not enough talent in Japan for 2 good teams.
Here's what I think they can do.
You can make 2 mediocre teams, or you can do the current setup.
Here's what they can do, and this is unfortunate for Woody, who is going to have to die for his top laner's sins, because he is taking up the LCP import slot, where you can take someone else from another LCP region. You have to go.
Yeah, true.
Driver comes in, Japanese support.
Yeah, if there's a Japanese support out there, that is an upgrade. I don't. Ground Zero is a bit harder because I don't know. Ground Zero's got a lot of pieces. Just rebuild the team around Ejang. Your Taiwanese team as well. Like, so just get Taiwanese players. They're good. It's a lot of them.
Yeah, and you have import slots. So like Husha is the big problem right now. I think a meta change would help him a lot. I feel like he still has a good head. He still has a good mind for the game. But so I feel like Husha should make his way into the coaching staff and be like a you're not actually allowed substitute players in like the coach comms room, because like so I think he should be a coach purely because that way he can sit in and do that job, because Skywalk currently doesn't really do that. So I think that then you do that, you bring in another jungler, it can be an import. I think the bot lane is serviceable. Jimmy was sort of on an uptick, so I think you can get away with him.
It depends on what the goal is, right?
Split,
like, I think it depends on the goal. Like, I could see GC make 1 or 2 changes and you come 4th. I think to get...
the goal has to be...
Because, like, that...
The goal has to be playoffs.
Which they're only, like, 2 series off.
So, realistically, I think your goal has to be better than DCG. Because Ground Zero... Because that way you dodge the relegation.
Yeah, that's true.
Flying Oyster are a guest team, like a partner team, so they are locked in no matter what. So it's between those two going into the regional. If you want to be better, you're probably going to be better than DFM, who ends up getting kicked to the like free for all relegation. But then you have to beat your regional opponent.
I don't know how good.
That's DCG.
Sorry, it's
and that's beating DCG.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Oh, as in, like, to avoid the relegation. I don't know.
We're not going to
know who the PCS.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how good PCS is. I just don't think GZ is a bad team. I can't say a team with Ejang on it is bad. They're just not quite good enough. But I think it's fixable. I think the pieces are there. But we'll go more in depth, as I said.
Off season, we'll have
my light just came off. Sorry. Go for a second. I just kicked the cord out of my light.
Okay. So, with those two out of the way, we sort of, I guess, fall into who's in for playoffs. And our first 2 matchups for those are going to be MVK versus CFO, and then SoftBank Hawks versus Relove DCG. Relove Deep Cross Gaming.
Yeah.
So which one of those should we hit first?
Let's do SHG DCG, because I think I want to rant a little bit about MVK being silly boys.
Yes.
So SHG came 4th, which means they did not get to pick their opponent.
Yeah.
And I think they've been rewarded for that, because they're up against DCG, who I feel were the softer target.
Yeah. So DCG, they really want the meta to change. They really want enchanters to fuck off. I think Shalcy and is just not happy with the current situation. Florin as well, even though he's like reaching for these Vayne picks over and over again, he's just not quite delivering on it. And I think teams are realizing he overplays his hand a lot on these picks and just go up and camp in, because Fung and Shalcy are just not like actually able to like put the pressure in the bot lane quite as they need to. I have no real complaints about Hongsuo on Pop 9. So they're doing fine, but in the direct matchup against Fan One and Daria, they are just
hard matchup.
They're
just worse.
Like matchup, right?
It's like there's no analysis to be done there. It's like, yeah, you're really, really good at like football. You're up against like prime Ronaldo though.
Yeah, you're up against
like you're not bad. You're not bad just because you're worse in that. Like I don't know, dude. Yeah. Unlucky.
Yeah, I think as a whole, DCG feel like kind of a worse, just like
Yeah, they're just a they are just
a
worse
worse
SSG.
version of the Hawks.
Yeah, they're just worse SSG, which is
So
like
what I think,
unlucky, I guess.
what I think that big edge is that Hawks are coached by Corgi, who for some reason just decides I'm going to draft you the worst shit imaginable.
Yeah, it's true. He may draft them dog shit.
Like if you think back to some of the PSG runs at Worlds, he'd just be like, "All right, we're picking some absolute dog shit, and you'll go, and PSG's going home. This last round against MVK, if the comps weren't just so fucking terrible, like that's playable. Like if they don't go for a random ass Camille support,
Well, yeah,
and
what
they
the
just
fuck
lock
was
in
that?
a Braum. If they lock in a Braum,
They win that game.
they win that game.
Because they almost won it with the Camille.
Yeah, because like they got off to a huge start with that Camille, but then it just fell off the cliff as it does, because it's Camille support after like 20 minutes. Plus, you're playing with a Caitlyn who can't follow up this unit of 4 divers.
Was game 1 winnable in any universe? I'm actually looking at this. I'd forgotten what do you remember what the draft in that game 1 was?
I remember it wasn't good.
So MVK gets Karma. They go Karma Cassiopeia. Yeah. So great start. Yeah. They go Siva Orn Maokai as like their back half. So that's a great comp from MVK. And it's up against fucking Ezreal Rumble. You love Ezreal Rumble early in this meta, sure. And then you follow it up with Pyke, Sejuani, Yone.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? You get Ezreal Rumble, your loving life, and then you third pick fucking Pyke.
So I don't...
When the enemy team had already picked their support, by the way.
Yeah. I can live with the Pyke pick third, because your idea is we leave Ezreal alone, we go hit the mid jungle. That's fine. That's something this is done throughout the split.
I don't agree. Pyke is the best at doing that, but
I don't love it, but that's fine. That's a valid pick. Bard or something would have been better.
Bard, yeah.
For that. Sejuani, Yone.
What are we doing? Like, Arya is a good Yone, to be fair.
Picking Yone into Cassiopeia is just fucking stupid. There are no other ways to say that. I think that's
silly.
It's just ego. It's counterpicking yourself. Maybe the whole plan was for like Shawnee to come in and make Arya go, ha ha, this man has never played a game.
Oh, yeah,
I can style on him.
Yeah.
And then they just pick the I guess they pick Sejuani for the Yone synergy, but
it's just fucking unbelievable. You look at a Cassiopeia and you pick like 2 of the champions in the game that have an ability that force them not to be able to turn around.
Yeah, no, it's just...
What are you doing?
Absolute clown show.
What are you doing?
It's just clown show. I don't know what the point of the Yone was. And then, yeah, that last game, Caitlyn is just left to her own devices. So she can't do a goddamn thing there.
Yeah, the Ziggs was also a smart counter pick. I liked that a lot.
I remember, like, before that last pick was lockdown, it's like, okay, this is a dog shit draft from MVK, and then then the Camille came in, and the words that came out of my mouth instantly were, this is dog shit. And it was. Like, because, yeah, you have 4 teams, you have three divers, Ahri, Vi, and Camille.
Yeah.
With this combo, you want to dive. And then you have a tank. That's okay. A tank can peel, right? Wrong. It's Sion. Sion cannot peel.
Yeah.
Sion
not what the guy does.
One case of instant CC, and it is his ult, and that is not a particularly reliable CC. I mean, I guess point blank it is, but then it's short, so you can't really peel with it.
It really, because like I like.
Real tank. I mean, he isn't that. He's a big beefy boy, but he like can't peel. His CC is so unreliable. He is actually.
He's a
He feels
space tank. He takes up
Yeah.
space. Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how he operates in fights. Is he's just really big and does enough damage that you can't really just ignore him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually peel an assassin off your AD carry. Like it's just not what the champion does.
So then, when he runs up into the like the Aurora and the
fucking that was just
Ambassador, it's just tears him apart.
yeah, and Shawnee was just playing Hitman that game.
Oh,
Like, he was just walking around, just fucking killing people.
Just,
yeah, silly stuff from SHG in that one. But yeah,
SHG should win because they're better players. But
SHG, exactly. That's the thing. It's like all analysis points to SHG winning fairly comfortably. What score would you give it? I'm gonna say 3-1 because I think Corgi will throw a rock at the Rocket at least once.
I'm gonna say it'll be a 3-1 in either direction.
Interesting.
Because if Corgi's gonna do a stinker, it's gonna be a stinker for the whole series, and Hawks will win a game just off the fact that they're good. But otherwise, I think DCG are actually just legitimately good enough to take a game.
That's true.
So, and we'll see. We'll see how draft shakes out. Maybe there will be a draft that DCG gets that's really comfortable for them with Florin on a big beefy frontliner and Chelsea maybe in game 3, game 4. That is where Chelsea's allowed to play that straight up melee matchup, especially with Vista looking to value melee more now.
Yeah, we'll see. We can jump straight over to the other side of the bracket. So I would like to remind everyone that MVK finished 3rd and therefore got to pick who they played against. And they said, yeah, we're going to play against the freight train that's gaining momentum.
Yeah.
And they picked CFO. Thoughts?
So
CFO did finish 6th, to be fair. They did finish lower on the ladder.
But the first 3 weeks
don't count.
Semi-fraudulent. And I mean, yeah, because so the first 2 were with a different roster. They went 1-1 against the Japanese teams, but at the time, what was looking like the best team or top 2 team, and then the worst team, the undisputable worst team in DFM. And then they swapped this, and so week 3 is the first real game of their roster, and it was against DCG, and they went 2-1 with a roster that had played together for
a week.
half a week, because and then from there they just end up getting pushed around by they don't really have the opportunity to get their feet under them when they actually are playing against the teams that they should be directly competing against, like MVK. DCG and MVK are the teams they should be directly competing against. They do not have their feet under them yet. Then they get into the back half of the split, and they take a game of Team Secret Wales. They take a game off Gun. They don't win these series, and they absolutely monster CFO kind of technically twice, because I'm going to talk about the online qualifiers just a bit for this, because we get so few games of the goddamn.
Yeah, we get nothing.
I need to just reach for a little bit more. And they beat GZ, they lose to CFO. I guess if you look at that, then they do lose to DCG in those qualifiers, but so that might be. So it might be a bit of that. It might be a bit of scrims. It might be a bit of everything as to why they feel they might have a better matchup. But from what we've seen on the LCP stage, in terms of actual stage games, because all those qualifiers are online, so they're all a little bit shaky. Everything on stage looks like CFO are going up, and that shouldn't matter too much for MVK, but you do want to make it easy for you in the round 1.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, I don't like MVK picking CFO. I think that's short-sighted. But I still think MBK are gonna win.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And I guess we're gonna have to talk about how, and I think a big part of how is, as much as I really do like the guy, rest champion pool has been kind of suspect.
yeah, it's just nah. He just picks nah, and he's good at it, but like it's limiting.
But like, if I look at it, like he's picking Nah and Rumble and Renekton primarily. Renekton is 0-3. He has not looked great on Renekton. His Nah has been kind of left to the wolves a little bit. I don't think the team should be picking it. Rumble's fine. That's whatever. But then,
Well, yeah, but you're only getting Rumble. You're only getting it max once, obviously, because it's fearless.
yeah.
But it's also just a contested pick. It's just like you're not getting it every time.
And then it feels like as it like slips down further and further into fearless, his efficacy becomes a lot, like Rest's efficacy just drops quite a bit, and this is sad to me, who likes Rest. But then you're starting to see where Driver was so useful for CFO last year, because Driver was like, with the like big meta picks, they were like, all right, we're gonna put Rest on those, because Rest, when he's practiced on these champions, is better than Driver. But Driver's champion pool extends a lot further. He can play things like the Gangplank. So as you get further and further into Fearless, Driver can take over and like save picks for Rest. And with him gone, I think there's sort of Rest has to step up and try and expand his pool. And I think across the whole, yeah, that
Hard.
Rest and Shadow are just sitting as like this weakness wings for, and what pun did you say?
No, I mean it's hard to do that.
Oh, hard. I heard pun and I was like, yeah, be like pun. Word of advice. Great advice. Vietnamese advice. Be like pun.
Yeah, exactly. Be like pun. Look, I think I am favoring MVK, and look, there's sort of like a way I've wanted to describe MVK, but I can't do it on cast, but I can do it here. So there's a phrase sometimes when you study the Troubles in Northern Ireland, people talk. Where the fuck are we going? I'm not actually going into that, but sometimes when people talk about certain things that the IRA did and things that went wrong for them, they refer to the paddy factor, which is just like sometimes they would set the timers wrong because of quote unquote the paddy factor. Not my term, to be clear.
I think we should avoid that term altogether.
But I like to think sometimes Vietnamese teams have the rice paddy factor, which is sometimes they just draft that.
I'm a bitch, man. All right. Something with MBK. The big thing, like sometimes they draft bad, sometimes they. I think with MBK, sometimes they just brain bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We have a lot, like and like we've been sort of running throughout the split with the sort of narrative that they are just sort of the hands check team. And I think
that's dropped off a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
That has dropped off a little bit in the last couple of weeks. They kind of got to sort of be the hands check team without being the hands check team against SHG, because SHG decided they wanted to do that style of play against them, and MVK was like, okay, that's what we do. We're fine with that.
Yeah, like,
and
do you really?
That was absolutely gave MVK the like perfect game one, because Hawks were just running into them over and over again. And then when the Hawks slowed it down for game two, MVK struggled a lot more. But CFO as a team has been one that's not been very consistent with its play. So this might be an angle. So this, I think MVK should be coming out in game one with that sort of style, with that sort of aggressive style, and just seeing how are they on the day. If it's one of those, if it's like how it was that one game against Team Secret Wales for CFO, where Doggo just remembered, oh wait, I'm the best ADC in the LCP. Then
they'll win.
then CFO
Doggo,
will win that
if
first
Doggo
game, and he
has
can pull
approximately
himself back
9,
and go.
if Doggo has approximately 6 of those days, they win the split.
Yeah, like if Doggo and Rest just like regress 6 months, they'll be gone. They'll be it might be. It's a bit more than 6 months now because like Worlds is in October, so you know what I mean. You know what I mean. If they just go back to last split form, that'll be great. That'll be great. It'll be fine. So yeah, I think MBK will come out strong in game 1, and then it'll be up to CFO to sort of say, can we match? Do we match mechanically? If they do, CFO wins game 1. And then MBK has to readjust, and they can pull out a lot more of that sort of that macro that they've been building up over the split. Right. Otherwise, if CFO gets completely checked in game 1, it'll be a quick 3-0 for MBK.
Yeah, look, it's always possible that CFO falls off because CFO has, they've not been super consistent. It's one so hard to talk about because it's all just like I just think CFO has so much momentum behind them, but I mean so do MVK. I don't know, like for some reason I like when I see other analysts doing it, and I catch myself doing it as well. Why don't people still talk? Like people just don't talk about MVK like they're a good team. They came third. I catch myself doing it. They came third. They played really well. They beat good teams. They didn't just coast. Look, I do think they win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem with MVK is it's almost like, do I want MVK to win? And the answer is obviously yes. I'm a VCS fanboy. I want the Vietnamese team to win every single time. But also MVK does not have a hope in hell against the top 2 teams.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter who they end up against, because just to clarify, whoever wins these first 2 series, there's another, like, Team Secret Wales gets to pick who they play against. MVK matches up so poorly into GARM and Team Secret Wales, they will get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah. And
CFO might not.
Yeah, I think the trick with MVK is, especially against the teams that they have been better than, is that one of their big strengths is Sulong just has such a good depth of field. Like the whole team as a whole just has such a good champion pool. Mm-hmm. Like they can reach deep, really deep, and it is like fantastic to watch them just like pull out some random ass picks now and again. Like we saw the Annie come out from Suilong. We see Aatrox coming out from Guri. Like he's the one who's playing that. He played Jace as well. That's one that is very much fallen by the wayside in terms of jungle picks. But they're just willing to play these things. This gives them the edge in draft. And this means, against these lower teams, against like CFO in particular, they can play with the draft so much that it's gonna be that this is a huge advantage for them. When it comes up to against like GARM and Team Secret Wales in particular, that doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Exactly.
Because Pun's just gonna reach in and be like, oh, that's a cute set. I'm gonna play Set. I'm gonna play Olaf. I'm gonna play Volibear. I can play whatever I want.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Eddie's just decides, I'm gonna pull out Senna. I'm good at Senna. And it's like, yeah, okay. Senna,
I guess.
Senna Seraphine, sure. That is so much healing, so much like extra effective health. And in lane, Senna is acting like sort of like a budget Ash because her Q slows and sets up the Seraphine, so you still get that lane pressure. And it's like, no one else is doing that. Maybe more teams should be doing that. More teams should definitely be thinking about the depth of their champion pool. Garm, why is come on? We know Artemis is a little guy who really wants to play his Samira. Let him play his Samira.
Samira is
I
never
wanna-
getting
I wanna see-
picked. Samira is
I wanna-
never getting picked. As disappointed as that is.
You know who let him pick Samira? Ron OP. Ron OP would let
Bring him
would let
back.
him-
Bring back
him-
Ron OP. Let's go.
But yeah, like, and with Gam just sitting there with, like, Gam's like shown a little bit of diversity, not nearly as much as the other two Vietnamese teams, but like we've seen Shyvana.
Yeah,
I think that's. I'm sure it's not the only Shyvana in the world, but it's the only one I've seen.
yeah, it got gutted
Really?
a little bit. I think we were in like a weird patch cycle where it had been gutted on live, but we weren't playing live, and then every other region was. Something happened. Anyway, it was because I think it was like there was a hot fix or something.
There was a hot fix, and then like a weird. There's been like a slight.
Shyvana had a bit of a weird back and forth. Could definitely come out.
Strong at the moment, though.
She's fine. Yeah.
We'll have to see. And if you want to, if you ever get the urge, you can always put in the only Azir player in the league.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So if you feel like, we want to put Azir in this draft that we're going to come up with, who's a really good Azir? Who's like the only good Vietnamese Azir in the world?
Good question. Big think.
Yeah, big think. Yeah, I think MBK really just stylised is a poor mismatch, and I think they're sort of really hoping DCG finds an upset against the Hawks, because I feel like if the Hawks get through, MVK is the one that Team Secret Wales is going to pick, and if the Hawks don't get through, DCG is the team that the Wales is going to pick, and MVK should be thinking we have a better chance against Garm.
Well, they do.
Team Secret.
They do. In the same way, I have a better chance in a fight against someone with a sword than a gun. Like, I still don't have much of a chance, but I have more of a chance.
So it's I feel like it feels a little bit hard. Like, I feel like CFO would chair a team where they have all the pieces like Pout, Doggo, Kino, Rest, Shadow, all players where I think like this can be something, but they haven't quite shown it yet.
They are
consistency.
Building that momentum.
They're building momentum. They have these individual games here and there where it's like, yes, this is perfect. The game they won against Garm, the game they won against against Team Secret Wales, the series against Ground Zero. They have these moments. They have these games. But then they also have other games where you're just like, what are we doing, fellas? Come on.
Shadow in particular is super inconsistent.
Yeah. I feel, Shadow and Kino, I feel, Shadow and Rest, I think, are the two most inconsistent. I think Kino is fairly consistently average. Like, I feel like he's not quite a player that, like, I would say I would be reaching for if I'm building a roster. But I do think he has brought so much stability to the team that his vibes are absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
When your other option is 2-2-7-4, absolutely keep Kino.
Yeah.
But that's the most desperate matchup. But like, Kino's so important to the team, and I feel he must be so important to these teams in the event tangibles, because like once him and Pout came through,
it was
complete turnaround. And Pout is mechanically better than Pugyoung, but like I don't necessarily think just hot swapping a Korean is gonna do so much for the team dynamic.
Yeah.
In terms of
so
the other
final prediction: MVK CFO.
This depends heavily on game one, in my opinion.
In my opinion, the only two outcomes are 3-2 CFO or 3-1 MVK.
Yeah, I think
CFO is too good not to win a game. but I think the only way they win the series is it's going to be ridiculously close. It'll be a fight to the finish.
I think it's 3-2 either way or 3-0 MVK, depending on how big game one. Like if they come into game one and just sort of roll over CFO I don't necessarily think will rally quite as well.
That's fair.
But and then if CFO are like on form, it'll push it to the end, and I think in that case I will give the edge to MVK just because what they've shown over the whole split has been better. But in that game 5, it might be Doggo's life game. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna say it's MVK. I'm gonna say it's CF. I'm gonna say it's a 3-2 because I hope that is that, but I don't. I can see the 3-0. I can see the 3-0 world.
So, I asked you a question before we got into it. Who is the second MSI representative? As I said, I've already had to lock mine in for the broadcast, and I said it was Garm.
If I can get on a plane to Taipei and beat Corgi with a stick, it'll be SHG. Otherwise, I think it. Most recent form suggests Garm. Like it just straight up does. Like the last two or 3 weeks suggests Garm, very much so. But this SHG can still be that. It'll be one of those two. It will be one of those two, I think. Very much so.
Yeah, I agree. It's SHG or Garm. I think CFO could make a run. Is it insane that I think the two most likely are CFO and Garm? SHG and Garm. I think Garm's the most likely, SHG second most likely, third most likely.
Third most likely is yes. No, I think that's correct.
I think they are way more likely than MVK. I don't think MVK has a chance.
Correct. If MVK gets pushed out by Garm,
I guess
and if Hawks are in a position to be second, I think they will be better than MVK. So MVK, but CFO have those pieces where if this small break between playoffs gets them to click, gets them to find that sort of juice they've been looking for, that pushes them up. Hey, they are the team that should be able to make that run to second place. They have the pieces. They just need to figure out how to put them together.
Yeah.
So that's the outside chance for CFO. I think if you're making me put it down, I think it is Gam. But it is Gam, but I don't want to write off the Hawks. I don't want to do it. But,
yeah, I'm definitely not going to write them off.
The last 3 weeks. Again, guys, just draft properly. Draft properly. Play more reasonable. Play correctly. Play more respectfully. But otherwise, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. They've been on the upswing. Kiara is back in form. Taki has settled into a groove. They are playing through and around Aris and Drakthar and driving their games. They are not sort of just letting things get away from them and preying from their team fighting capabilities. They're actually in control for once in what feels like actually years for this organization, because they have played so many really poor early games towards the end of the Levi era, where they were just we're gonna really fall down in the early game and then team fight and shot call our way to victory, which kept working in VCS, but once it hit LCP, it
wasn't good enough.
Very much didn't.
Yeah.
Very much didn't. So yeah, I think Gav has finally sort of clicked into the magic with this roster.
I agree. As I said, I locked in Garm. I think we're sending 2 Vietnamese teams to MSI. Best years of my life.
Yeah. Look, I'm just saying, we asked for a coach, and it turns out that coach was Glory. Because once that signing came in, oh my god, things got so much better so quickly.
RS is just giving a middle finger, right? Like, but he played so well. Like, Glory
Yeah,
came in and we're like, oh, does he come onto the roster? It seems weird because RS is playing so well. It's like, no, he doesn't come onto the roster. RS is sick.
So here's the cool thing. Here's the sad thing for Glory, right? Because like he comes in, he's gonna be like on the team, so he's probably like playing a lot of 1v1s with RS right now.
You think so, yeah.
In sort of for training. And that's probably leveling RS right up, and then RS has the inbuilt synergy for playing with the team for the whole like 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years yeah, because Draxar and Taki knew, but so the whole year for so far. And then Glory's just like, fuck.
Shit.
Should have gone to MVK. Should have gone to MVK. Because if I'm on MVK, I'm sure he's shit better than Chica. And like that's not to like actually shit on Chica that much. It's just like
he just is. Like, I'm sorry, man. He
like,
just is.
Yeah, sorry.
Worse than Glory is not bad.
Yeah, like this is a guy who was like Team Secret Wales were like, all right, we're gonna pick up Glory when he's free. Actually, DRA is kind of good. We did not expect DRA to be good, so sorry. Like he was gonna replace DRA, and then DRA just sort of found the juice, I guess. So
yeah,
he's a good mid laner. Like it's been a while, so people forget.
He's sick. He's great. Anyway, I think that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. That's week 1 playoff and maybe a little bit forward preview. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be on the cast. Actually, I don't know which games I'm casting yet. So it's Friday night, by the way. I don't know if I'm working tomorrow.
And you don't even know what day you're on?
Actually, I might know. I'm actually going to check. I'm going to check while we're still recording.
Come on.
This is probably my fault.
This is certainly your fault.
Nope, not actually my fault for once. I don't know what games. I don't know what days I'm on. So we'll find out. I'm going to be on one of the days, probably. I don't know. Maybe they just bench me. They've done it before. I wouldn't blame them.
That happens.
Anyway, see you next week.
All right.
Bye.